I have never been misgendered, but I have been disgendered, referred to in such a way that my gender, my sex has been denied, and it is happening more and more frequently. I refer, of course, to being they-them'd rather than she-her'd, being described with the pronouns of gender denial. I recognise that this is often done with the best of intentions and a desire to be inclusive. And if I had asked to be referred to in this way, or was asked to refer to another in this way, it would be entirely appropriate. What I am questioning is why they, rather than she or he, has become the default pronoun. I was born female. I present to the world as a female. I sound female on the phone, and my name is not gender neutral. In fact, if you believe Johnny Cash, who had a father toughening up his boy by calling him Sue, my name is quintessentially feminine. My default pronoun surely is she, unless I advise to the contrary. But increasingly, the default has become they-them. I struggle to see how this is actually inclusive. I do not understand how denying my femininity actually includes. How does pretending that there is no difference between men and women, that we are just one amorphous mass of they, respect and include anyone? The claims of feminism were not for women to become men or to be seen as interchangeable with men, simply to be respected for our abilities and our contributions and to be accorded the same opportunities and respect as men, different but equal. Unlike Lady Macbeth, I have made no appeal to unsex me now, yet I find repeatedly that I am being unsexed, not misgendered, referred to as he, but a neutered they, denied my female sex entirely. Our sex is fundamental to our identity, our sense of self. Think about the key identifiers we use. Consider every form you have ever filled in for any purpose. The first two questions are usually name and sex, followed often by birth date and contact details. Our sex is an important identifier of who we are. Tell me what I can call you, tell me what your sex is, and while we're at it, how old are you? These are the key identification questions in our society, and a recognition that one of the main categories by which we organise ourselves and the world around us is by our sex. Certainly, we now approach the question of sex and the related issue of gender in a less binary fashion than we may have done last century. But an awareness of nuance, of intersex, and those who desire to change their sex should not lead to an abandonment of any recognition of sexual difference. The they-them proliferation is often driven by those with a great concern for those who may wish to or may have transitioned their sex. But the nature of any transition is to go from one to another, from female to male, for example. Without a recognition of the differences, there can be no transition because there is nothing to change. A default they-them is actually undermining the significance of the transition by undermining awareness of the fundamental difference between men and women. And we do a similar thing with parent, which has largely replaced the separate and unique roles of mother and father. I am a parent, but I am also a mother, and I have seen close up in my family and many others how different mothering looks to fathering and how differently mothering and fathering are experienced by our children. Of course, not all children have mothers and fathers available to them. My own family, scarred by death, is a case in point. And I recognise the heroism of many motherless or fatherless families. But consider this for a moment. If the contributions of both a mother and a father, a woman and a man, are not desirable for healthy family development, why is it such a big deal when one is missing? We don't include by denying that there are differences to include. We don't offer respect when we deny that there is anything to be respected. And we will not build a strong society if we focus on the blob of they and don't see each unique individual.